Alright guys, this boiler's getting replaced today. I just come back here, it's the morning, and we're changing it. And drain it out, and the new one's gonna be over more in line with the chimney. I'll drain it out and do what I gotta do. It's coming out. I tried to clean it out yesterday, but I couldn't get all the soot out of it, and it was just giving off high CO levels. Just gotta go. Flipping cold there today. It's my little. I walked in the house and it was at 18 yesterday. As soon as I walked in the door down there, it was 18 parts per million. Well, I could smell the gas. So that thing's gonna go. It's all apart now. You can see where the center line of the chimney is. This one's gonna be, the new one's gonna be slid over a little bit, but it's all disconnected. I got everything cut. I got the supply here. Here's the return. It's a split loop. I'm gonna put my new feeder in there. Tie the water in. I'm gonna put a new tank on. You know, so I gotta take that high vent out of there yet. So, but she's ready to rock and roll. The electrical's all disconnected for now. Electrician's coming later. It's like probably 5 degrees out. It's cold, man. But we're gonna. There is a liner in the chimney. I was surprised that there's a clay liner in there. There is a clay liner in the chimney. Very surprisingly. But we know that chimney's not blocked. I got 2 water heaters here, and both of them there's no rollout happening on these 2 water heaters. So I know that chimney's not blocked. You know, if that chimney was blocked, that plastic would be all melted on both of them. And I ran these 2 heaters. I was getting a good draft up the chimney. So once I get the new one in place and piped off, I'll give you guys some shots. I got the new boiler in. The new boiler is definitely taller. I got it up on the blocks. What I did is I put an elbow and a 45 and we lined it up that way. So this boiler's definitely been pushed over quite a bit. Circulator's going to go down in that port. I'm going to put the low water cutoff in this port. And then my supply will come out this port. That bottom port's blocked already. So, I'll try to give you guys some shots there. As I progress a little bit more, I'll give you some shots. But the electrician's coming. I'll hook up the wiring later. So, and I got the damper here. It's 5-inch. I just have to add a piece of smoke there and a piece of smoke here. But you can see there's a little plug I had to put in there. You leave it out if there's a pilot ignition. Standing pilot, you leave that little plug out of there, out of the damper, but I put it in there. This one's 83.5% efficient. It's 100,000 in. This what was the old boiler, was the same BTU rating. It's a Crown. Nice boilers. Alright guys, so I got the supply here going up. A couple of 45s wrapping around. I gotta solder these joints yet. On this here, I cleaned this up too because this was coming down on a bowl. So I put an elbow there and a T. A couple of elbows here I have to solder. I reused this riser that was from the old boiler. I got my low water cut off and my relief valve on this side. The electrician was already here. I put a new tank, a new high vent in. So what I'm gonna do is this. Do all this soldering, maybe get you some shots on that, and then I gotta do the water feeder yet, which I'm gonna do that after. Put that feeder in there and tie this water in. Well, she's coming along. She's coming along. I'll try to get you some shots on the soldering maybe. I just got a lot of soldering to do here, guys, so hopefully you can, I gotta solder all this up, so we'll let it rock and roll here, Mama. Steve is working again, Mama. Oh, yeah. Steve's a real working man. Put some flux on there. not on the bottom, that's what you want to see. I'll hit it with some flux. Suck it right in there. Pulls it in. Heat and the flux pulls in the solder, so. water. I put cardboard down on top of the boiler so it won't make a mess. This is what I had before, so I would have been really close to the boiler, so I did it that way. Gives me more clearance in case I ever have to try to clean it, which I shouldn't have to on gas, but it's better that way. I got some pretty good clearance there. Alright, I got the plastic washer out so I can solder these joints. Same thing, just like I did the other ones, it's just a little faster. Once that cools, I'll take it out and put the washer in there. I'll be ready to rock and roll here. The only thing I gotta finish is the gas pipe, which is the gas cocks right there. I'm gonna reuse that to be fine. I want the union. I'll have to pipe off the gas. And the smoke pipe. A radiator here that's up in the hallway that I'm gonna disconnect and tie this right in. There's a piece of baseboard in the hallway that the building inspector wants out, so. Well, I got the water off. It won't take me long to do it. Alright, I cut there. You can see where that piece was coming down. I cut it there, I put a cup on. I ran over here with 245s. That's where the other piece was going up here. The baseboard. And then coming down. It was coming down right there. So I cut all that out. This is a rental on the first floor, so there was heat running in the hallway that they were questioning that, so we just cut it out. Well, I had the boiler off. I got the water on. I don't see anything, nothing's leaking. I don't see anything leaking, so all I gotta do now is purge the air out. I'm gonna leave it in there while I do this smoke pipe and see if there's any drips. We don't want any drips. We don't want any leakers, so we'll let the water stay in it for a little bit before I purge it, just in case there's any leaks. We'll hook up, we'll do the gas pipe and that smoke pipe, and then we'll purge the air last. It's always good to check. We don't want no leaks, you know. We don't want any leakers, mama. Yeah, right there, not leaking it. Yeah. I'll have to solder that up. I got a leaker right there. Yeah. She's a leaker, mama. She's a leaker. That's no big deal. We'll drain it down and fix it. Yeah. Alright, so I got the hose on it. We just have to resolder that joint. No big deal. No biggie. What I'm going to do is heat it and hit it with the flux, and then the solder. I might not have got Yeah, I have leaks. I have leaks sometimes. Everybody gets leaks. You don't have any leaks, that means you're not doing any work. I'm going to shut those holes off and fill it back up again. I'll fill it back up and we'll let it sit for a while and see if any more leaks appear before I start it. Oh, I did put a new high vent up there too. It's pissing out the high vent, so we'll let it fill up and should hold it in now. Alright guys, I got the this is the return of the purge stations. I gotta shut, there's 2 purge stations. I gotta shut these wafer valves off. So basically I'm coming in the return below the purge stations. Gonna go up through the supply, through the zones and back and purge through the hose. So I got the wafer valves off. You can see that would be on. That's off. Open this. Alright guys, so I got this little top pot open here. I got both of them off. Once you got the hose open, you can open this up. Once it's full, that's going to purge the air through the zone. I had to take that nut off of there because sometimes this don't go down enough with a nut on there. I'll do both of them. Getting a bit of flow there now. I'll shut this one off and we'll move it over to the other side. Might have to put caps on this, I'm not sure. I'll worry about it later. I'll get the air out of it and get some heat in the house. Once that's open, you can give it the old Gundy here. I'll give it the old Gundy, mama. They said sometimes you gotta take that nut off of there because it won't allow it to go down enough to give it the old chooch. And we can see this little wafer valve here, you know. Open the wafer. I'm gonna show it. It's also a balancing valve if you wanted to balance the system on the split loop. You want to make sure they're both coming back hot at the same time. If one's coming back hotter than the other, you can balance it. We'll let that go. I'll wait for that to quiet down. All the air will be out of it. I got my smoke pipe done. Just have to put a little bit of mortar on the top. That's no big deal. I'm ready to start this thing up in a minute. These things leak. There's a little pack of nut here. You can tighten if you need to. Same thing on the top. Got a little pack of nut on the top. Starting to quiet down now, so we're getting the air out. You put your hand on the holes and you can feel it. You will get a little backlash from this because it's not a ball valve; it's a wafer. You get some back leakage. Can't help it. These aren't the greatest. These aren't the greatest purge valves in the world. I'd rather have a ball valve and a drain myself. That's what I like. I think that's pretty good right there. Sometimes you gotta take that nut off, or it won't allow you to use the bypass sometimes. Alright guys, so I got the gas on here. Got a union over there, a couple an elbow. I got my manometer on there. Check the gas pressure on manifold pressure going in. Alright, we got that there. Fire it up. Might go through a couple of cycles to get the air out, and I gotta make sure this is on here. Yeah, the gas valve's on, so damper should open. See, the damper is going to open. Once the damper opens, then it'll fire. Like I said, you know, it's going to take a couple of tries because there's air in the line. Got to get the air out of there. Once I confirm my gas pressure is okay, we'll do a combustion test on it. And we're going to be looking for like 3.5 on the gas valve, so we'll see. Way too high. I gotta cut that gas valve back, see it? Let me cut the gas valve back to 3.5 where it needs to be. It's too high. Too high, mama. See, I'm 3.73. That's too high. Back that out to 3.5. That's good right there. That's where I need to be. So what I'll do is I'll shut it off. I'll take this out because I want to put the door on for my combustion test. But my gas pressure is where I need it now. It was too high before. Alright, I got my manometer off and I got the thing back on. It's always good to check the combustion with the door on. So we'll get the meter and we'll check it. I gotta go in through the back here with my meter. Oxygen should be 7 to 9. I'm 7, 4 to 9, I'm 7 there. CO2 should be 6.5 to 8. I'm pretty close, so I need to beat my ppms a little bit high. Could be that there's oil on there. I might have to drop the gas pressure down and bring them ppms down. Not too bad though. Stack temperature should be 325 to 500. We're pretty, close. The only thing is the ppms is a little off, but we'll let it run for a while. Might be that there's oil in there still, See, she's starting to come back nice and hot now already, so. I'm going to cut my gas pressure down a little bit more. I'm going to get the ppms CO air free down to 50. gas pressure back a little bit, and see, I'm down to my 50 ppm, so I'm good with that. Probably running about 3 pounds now instead of 3.5. Maybe cut it down some. But I had to get the ppms in range here, so I'm good there. Carbon monoxide 50 parts per million undiluted. I'm at 48 now, so I'm good with that. Stack temperature 325 to 350. Oxygen should be 4 to 9. I'm at 8.5. And carbon dioxide 6.5 to 8. Let me put the cover back on. I put the cover back on. It didn't make a difference if I had the cover off or not, so I'm good with that right there. New combustion test, mama. Alright guys, it's all done. I'll give you some shots here. I sealed up chimney. I put some furnace cement on there. That's all done. I marked the day here. Full water cut off. Leak valve. Circulators on the return. Got a boiler drain right there. On a system like this, supply or return don't really matter. I was going to put it on the supply, the pump, but I would have been pumping into the tank anyway, so I'm not changing all that. So we put a new tank, a new high vent. Water feeder. 911S. I left the old shut off there, was fine. Purge stations were fine. I cleaned this up. Remember, this was coming down with a bull T, so I cleaned all that up and went across, giving me more room here on top of the boiler. Did it come out nice? Had a leak here that I had to fix, and I had a leak here and a 1/2 inch that I had to fix, but not a big deal. It's been running for a while. I did the combustion test. I set the gas valve for 3.5. Then I had to back it out a little bit because the carbon monoxide was still a little bit too high. So there's no adjustment on these burners. I just had to cut the gas valve back a little bit. This is 83.7%. I wonder what my efficiency come out at. 83% says there. 83%, so well, that's good. 83, see? 83. What is that? I don't know if you can see it or not. 83. Yep. So. It's a lot higher than the other one. It's the same BTU rating as the other one was. Going into an old chimney like that, you gotta go with the same BTU rating as if it was gas, so. Plus, there is a liner in that chimney. I was surprised. Clay liner. I've got no leaks on this piping either. I did this. There was a piece of baseboard in the hallway to take out, so that's fine. I will have to mail the permitting for this one because this was an emergency job. They had no heat. It's probably 5 degrees out. It's really cold. I'm surprised the zones didn't freeze. They had a couple electric heaters going. That's it. It's done. Now I didn't go over everything with you guys. I didn't show you screwing that in or, putting this T in here with this reducer. I didn't show you any of that stuff. That T there. I'll probably take a rag and wipe all these joints down before I leave. One last joint, one last time. Take the pipe dope off it, I don't see any leaks, man. Good. It looks good. Everything looks good, Mama. Steve's a real working man, Mama. Oh, yeah. Steve's a real working man, Mama. Left all the literature right on top here. Rally right there on top of the boiler for the homeowner who she'll be by later anyway. think it's good. I'm happy with the way it came out. I did check the combustion on this one. This one was okay yesterday. I got both of the boilers running down here at 0 ppms. I had my electrician put the battery operated CO detector in here, just temporary for now. She's gonna need to get a hot wired one over there. That's temporary. Covered me for 30 days. Alright guys, I got here at 7 o'clock in the morning. It was 7 to 3:30. That's not a bad day. Probably, you know, I gotta go home half an hour, so it's like 7 to 4 with that boiler replacement. That's not too bad. One guy. Go ahead there, tough guy. Come on, good girl. Go to the potato chip, man.